before the arenas, before the awards.
This is b4Nashville Live. Have a question for our guest? Send it to us via Messenger.
Here's your host, George Davis.
Well, hey, how are you guys doing? It's Monday night, and we are back with b4Nashville. Been a busy week for me last week, and our guest tonight, I'm sure he had a busy weekend. He's a musician, so of course he's probably had a busy weekend. But we're talking tonight with Hunter Lott, and Hunter is one that I received via one of my many friends in Nashville who sent me some information, listened to a song, and I was super excited and brought him on tonight. So Hunter, how you doing, man? We lost him again. We keep having issues here, so hopefully we'll get this. Let's see what's going on here. He's just off the stream. We'll get him back on here in a minute and see what's happening. But Hunter lives in Gallatin, Tennessee right now. And there you are. Let's see if we can hold it for a little bit here.
Man, I don't know. I don't know the issue. I'm doing good. I heard what you were saying. I just couldn't say anything back.
No. Now, you're originally from Mississippi, aren't you?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Wow. That's how did you wind up in Tennessee? Is that a family move, or did you move there yourself, or what was the deal with the move?
I did move with my family, but my family are super supportive of my music. And so I moved. We all moved. Me, my mom, and my dad moved for my career because I was being hired by the Tootsie circuit. So we moved up here.
All right. Now, do you come from a musical family? Are you kind of the only one?
My dad played the trumpet in high school.
Well, you know, there's a huge market for country trumpeters out there.
Oh, yeah. So I've told him I'm going to throw him on a record. I've told him.
Take him down to Tootsie's, you know, you play a song, you have him jump up there on stage with you. That'd be pretty good.
Oh, yeah. That'd be fun. But we moved for the Tootsie circuit is when I got hired. I don't play at Tootsie's much anymore. I played there for about 8 months. But for the first 8 months we were here, that's what I was. And it was time anyways. It was time to come up to Nash anyways.
Right. Now, where did you grow up in Mississippi?
Hattiesburg.
Nice. Good area down there. Really nice area.
Oh, yeah.
And I've sitting here looking at your website and some of the pictures on your bio and stuff. Apparently, growing up in Mississippi, you were quite the outdoorsman, fishing and hunting and loving every day.
You quoted the Luke Bryan. Yeah, for sure. I'm not like a cowboy. I don't have a farm, you know, or cows or a ranch, but so I like to stay inside for the AC. But you know, when the wintertime comes in, you know, we go out and we make sure to get in the deer stand for sure.
Right. I start seeing you got a couple of good looking deer on the picture here. So, I mean, it's not all AC.
No. Sometimes you want the heater because it's freezing.
Yeah.
It
gets cold in the deer stands. Is there pretty good hunting down in around Hattiesburg, or do you guys have somewhere else that you went to hunt? Or
we did the best that we could. We could say the deer genetics in Hattiesburg area aren't really quite like they are in the north.
Okay. Well, you just need to come up here and sit in my front yard and bring a crossbow, and you can hunt them all day long.
Dude, let me tell you, the first time when we lived in Mississippi, we were still coming to Nashville to record songs, and just in the neighborhood for the first or second time we came, we were passing a neighborhood, and I saw the biggest buck of my life. He's just standing out there. Me and my dad was driving, and he almost had a wreck. He's just trying. Just like because that is something that doesn't grow in South Mississippi. You know, you go to the Delta, you'll find them.
So easy to do. We about once a week I have to mow my grass, and I always go out where the dogs have been out to do their business, and I pick it up. And then here of late, I've had to go pick up out of the front yard because apparently the deer like to leave me presents in the front yard all the time. I know
Oh
they're
yeah.
there, and I'm gonna catch one of them one of these nights, and I'm gonna take it down. I'm telling you right now.
You got a crossbow, or you're using a compound bow?
It would be a compound bow, which I probably need something with a little less strength in it because I do live in a neighborhood, but
Mm.
it's like where we live, they actually have urban deer hunting because the population is so big,
Oh,
and you can only use bows. You can't use firearms at all. So that kind of
that's all I
sucks.
do. I don't gun hunt.
Really?
I've been only archery hunting since I was like 18 or
Oh yeah.
19. So yeah, call me if you got
Yeah.
deer.
Are you compound bow or you?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
have compound bow. I want a. I've always thought traditional archery was beautiful, so I've
Hmm.
wanted to give it a try, but I don't have time for the practice.
Right. I had a longbow for a while and I got rid of it. Now I wish I hadn't.
Oh,
Hung on to it to where I could nail them once in a while because you don't have to shoot as hard and they're not that far away. So just one good clear kill shot without going all the way through and puncturing a tire on my neighbor's truck across the street or something.
that's true. My compound bow is the last deer I shot with it was all the way through.
Oh wow. Yeah, they you will do that. I mean, you really got to be careful and
Mhm,
know your distance. But
mhm.
so when did you first start playing guitar? I think I read that like you were still in single digits when you started playing guitar.
Well, I didn't really play it. I got my first one when I was
Okay,
8.
that's what it was, yeah.
Yeah, I got it when I was 8 years old at Christmas, and, I guess I had too much of a little kid, like, ADHD brain, not actually learn, you know? I was the typical boy back then, so I didn't really learn, but, I think I picked it up and I wanted to start learning it when I was around 15, and I
Right.
started dabbling with it, and then my grandfather passed away,
Uh-huh.
and my grandfather was a super, super big influence on the whole family's life,
Right.
to the point where, I can't really stress it enough. I have refused to learn how to drive a stick shift because my grandfather was supposed to teach me.
Right.
So I plan on hoping him teaching me one day. I don't know how heaven is, but I hope he gets to teach me in heaven one day. You know.
That would be awesome, yeah.
So so that put the whole family in a really, 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 really dark place. Especially my mom. My mom was not herself,
Mm.
and I didn't know what to do. I wasn't good at sports, and I hated school. I had lots of friends, but I've never enjoyed school. And it was just really bad on everybody. So I picked up the guitar and I started to learn really, really quickly. I think within like 2.5 weeks, I was playing Metallica riffs,
Wow.
intro stuff, and I was showing my parents. And then I came in when I was about that age. I was almost 17 is when I started singing, and
Mhm.
uh, and my mom will tell you, like she told me that my music saved her.
Wow.
And it just went uphill from there. We just started chasing it.
That's awesome.
Oh
That's
yeah,
awesome.
it is good stories.
Yeah. You look like you've got quite the guitar collection. I see a beautiful blue Telecaster back there on the wall.
Yeah, that's one of my babies.
Yeah, I ain't nothing like a good telly. I don't
Yeah.
have one of those. I need to get one to hang on the wall, but uh,
Well, I'm
I
not
got.
single. I'm not single. I am married. I'm
Oh,
married
to
to
that
this.
one, yes, you are.
This is my baby right here.
Oh wow.
And this is my dream guitar. I've never I, as far as tellies go, I don't think
Right,
I'll buy another telly again. It'll be really hard for me to find one.
right. So, do you name your guitars?
No, because I can't like come up with good names or that aren't like cliche. I could name it Sheila or Lorraine, but that wouldn't. but but everybody's done that. So you
Right,
know, I one day I'll come up with a name, or someone will give her a name, or him.
right.
I don't know, but I've got a
My
bunch.
wife, my wife has this thing about naming all of our vehicles.
Yeah.
And we had a Suburban one time, and she named it Sally. Sally the Suburban. Then we had an Explorer, and you know where that one's going to go. She named it Dora.
I wasn't expecting that. That makes sense.
And then I've got a black pickup, which she hasn't named yet. She wanted to call it Black Betty, but I was like, well, that one's probably been done. But she's pretty creative.
You can't go wrong with that. That's a good song.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like you got your Squire there. Well, Sheila. You
I got
your Telly. You can name it. Teresa the Telly. I don't know.
We could come up with stuff. We could come up with stuff because people do get creative.
Yeah. Hey, that's a good poll to put up on your socials. So you name the guitar.
Now I'm gonna do that. So you can look at my socials in one of these next couple of days, and that'll be a poll on there. Now that you said that, I'm gonna do that.
I want to see what kind of responses you get, but you have to pick like one of the Tellys, either your baby or your blue one up there. So people would say, well, just call that one Baby Blue. When I'm like, nah, come on, more original.
Yeah, that's the home best guitar, best sounding guitar, and if the gig is close enough guitar. That's if I gotta go across the country, Telly.
Okay.
And the green is the studio.
So the blue one's the one you don't care to get banged up a little bit.
Yeah.
And the natural finished. That's what year is that one?
This is a custom shop, so it's new.
Okay.
So they made it. They only made I think 100 of those, and they made it was the 70th year anniversary, 51 Telly. So that's what it's like the year is like a 2021 or 2020. But it's got all of the 1951 specs and everything about it.
I got you. I got a buddy in Southern Illinois that used to make. Primarily, they were the Telly body style. They were called Bad Bart guitars. And if you look up, and I can't remember his name, but it's Tyler Farr's guitar player. He's got like 3 of these things, and he loves them. And Bart has since quit making them, but maybe for the right person, I could talk him into coming out of retirement. But man, they're beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And sound great, and they just, oh my gosh, they're awesome.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with a Telly. You can't go wrong with a Telly.
No, I mean they're kind of a cornerstone of country music anyway. So and even rock and roll. Keith Richards played a Telly in the Stones. So.
Stairway to Heaven, recorded on a Telly.
Yeah.
So all that stuff. Even though he played that double, what is it called? Jimmy Page played that double.
Yeah, the double neck. That was like a the SG.
It was. It was like a.
Yeah, what was that? Oh my gosh. I know it was an SG of some kind. So I don't know. I don't know how things are looking on y'all's end. Sometimes it freezes up on my end, and it's done that right now. So we're gonna have to get Hunter back in here. I don't know what's going on. We were just talking off screen, and he was having issues, and I was having issues, and so just bear with us. We'll get it. We'll get it all done. If you do have a question, I'll tell you this: if you have a question, shoot it to me in Messenger. I've got some questions in here. Well, a couple of comments and questions and stuff. Love to have your questions for Hunter, so be sure to send those to us, and I'll push those out. Growing up after you started playing guitar, now you're probably what, junior in high school, about the time you started playing pretty serious.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Did that affect your high school years? I mean, did it increase your cool factor, or were you already the coolest kid in class?
No, I was the friend of the cool kids. That's what I was. So,
okay.
So, we had I sat with the football team. I wasn't on the football team.
Right.
And the football team, a lot of them came and hung out at my house, and those were some of my best friends growing up. But I
Mhm.
wasn't on the football team. I was
Did
I
you?
was on the basketball team. I was pretty trash at basketball until my senior year. That's true.
That's all right. The only dribbling I ever did was as a baby.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. I have my brother-in-law to thank for getting better. He's super good at basketball.
there you go. You can always find. There's always somebody out there to help you, man. Always.
Hmm. Oh yeah.
Somebody is always out to help you. Um, and so what now? When you started out, you're jamming the Metallica songs. What got you into the country genre from Metallica?
Well, I started. So I'm a little bit of both. I said I grew up. I grew up on Metallica.
Right.
And it's my dad's fault. But but I think Metallica is super great music. So I was kind of raised up a little bit as a metal boy. But I've always really liked country music. I've always really liked it. And I
Mhm.
liked singing. So singing is when I started to I was like, man, I really love country music. I like playing metal. Playing it is fun.
Right.
But I like just to blow off steam. That's type deal. So
Right.
country music was really where my heart was. Metal is just kind of the thing, it just comes out every now and then, and then just bleeds through sometimes. But country music it was my number one, especially when I started singing, for sure.
So when you're up on stage, do you ever fall into that metal mindset of, okay, we're gonna do this a little bit and just kind of give them a quick little instrumental intermission?
If I've multiple times somebody has asked me, uh, back when I played with the Tootsie's bracket, back when I
Mhm.
played on Broadway a bunch. I don't work there anymore. Sometimes I play on Broadway, but not really, not anymore. When I worked there, we often had musicians that we didn't know. We were just, we're seasoned people, so we go up there, and many times it was the first time I'd ever met a musician, and we play a 4-hour gig. So I would go. Someone would request a metal song, and I'd just be like, turn around and look at my guys, and be like, "Do you guys know this?" And they'd be like, "No, I don't know." And I go, "Dang." But my guys, we had a graduation party not too long ago, and the person graduating who the party was being thrown for
Uh-huh.
loved metal, and they sent us some metal stuff ahead of time, and all of us were just like we get we get to play. I took that guitar. I don't know if you see how dark and
Yeah.
powerful that guitar looks.
Uh-huh.
That's what it's for. I needed a I needed a studio guitar. I love Tellys because Tellys are Tellys for all
Right.
my blues and country stuff that I just adore. And I needed a good fat metal guitar, and that's what that one is. So it
Something
does
that
come out sometimes.
got that little grunge to it. Like I've got a Dean Baby Z back here on the wall.
Oh
And
yeah.
I don't play, my boys play. I've got that, and I've got it's a pretty long scale bass over here that I got for my boys to hang up. And then I've got the drums in the back, which are electric, and that's just because of space. I can't put up a Neil Peart type of setup in here because it takes
Well, well, normally people in studios also keep real drum kits in a whole
right,
separate booth. So
right.
because it's loud, they're really loud.
Oh yeah.
So it'd be kind of crazy to have a whole drum kit back there.
Yeah.
It just wouldn't be
And
practical.
that's my little steam relief. I get down here every once in a while and I'll jump on those and slap on the headphones. That way my wife's not texting me or screaming,
Oh yeah,
you're playing too loud.
yeah. People text me and they tell me to turn it down. I just don't listen to them.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. So you kind of got into some stuff. Folks were looking at you. They said you had a natural talent, and then that kind of boosted up you wanting to try more. And then the YouTube videos, was that kind of a way to get it all? Because I mean, you're of the social media age, is what I call it. I
Yeah.
mean, you're dealing with all that. Is that kind of what got you boosted even more?
Yeah,
was
back
YouTube.
yeah. You're pulling my memories back in the day, man.
I
Yeah,
look at you, you say that, and I'm going, back in the day.
back in the day. No, that was when I was still about the same age, about 17, and I was like, I mean, I guess I'm gonna do stuff for fun and see what can happen because obviously I wasn't going to the NBA. So, so I decided to go on YouTube and to upload some covers. That's what I started. I started doing
Mhm.
YouTube covers of all my favorite country artists and things like that.
Right.
And playing and singing along, and that is, I guess you could say, yes, that is what got me my first like notice, because
Right.
that stuff, I remember I had a radio interview um in a local radio station, and I had maybe like 200 views on all my YouTube videos, maybe at most, like on each
Mhm.
one. And I did a live event at a radio station, and that night, on the song I had uploaded like the day before, it wasn't just 200 views, it was like 9,000, and it was a couple good thousand views. And then I
Mhm.
went and sang the national anthem at Mississippi State University.
Okay.
So I went Mississippi State versus Arkansas, the basketball game, the opening SEC basketball game, in
Okay.
front of 6,000 people with my face on the jumbotron in the center court, singing the national anthem. That was when I knew back, I think, that I really, really had found something
Right.
that I was going to stick to and that I really, really connected with.
And that's and you even say, it's just something that you loved. And then in 2019, so a short 4 years ago, you released your first EP called Country Free. Where does Country Free come from? What does that actually reference? I guess is the best question. Well, there we go again. We'll get him back on. I know he's going to give me a thumbs up here in a second. We'll get him back connected as soon as he comes on.
I'm
There you
good.
go.
I'm good. Look, I just gotta say up front for you and anybody watching, I'm so sorry that I don't know what's going on. I can't figure it out. I've never had this sort of thing happen.
Yeah,
Ever.
hey, like I said, it's happened to me. Y- it's supposed to be super simple, but for some reason, once in a while, things happen. I don't know
It's
what.
it's probably on my end because I'm not really like a computer guru. So
I'm mechanically inclined. I can screw up anything, but when it comes to computers,
yeah,
I'm not the same way. I know enough to tear them up, and that's about
yeah,
it.
yeah. I'm
Um,
mechanically declined.
right there you go. There you go.
I heard
So
2019. That's the last thing I heard.
yeah, 2019. That's when you released your first EP, and it was called Country Free. It's a
Yeah.
6-song EP.
Mm.
Where did the title, where Country Free, what does that mean?
Well, that's the first song I wrote
Okay.
that I wrote through and through by myself. That's the first song I wrote, and it was just better. It was just a good song title too. It was a good song title, and it was good for the EP title as well.
Mhm.
I had songs on there called like Crazy, and I had songs like Ain't Going Back and uh, stuff like that. And that
Mhm.
one just fit better. That one sounded a little bit more like an album, Country Free.
Right.
So, and it was the first song I had written. It just fit. It just
If you
fit.
had to if you had to define your style of country, because here's a question I ask a lot of people, and the way that I preface it is the way I look at country music. Okay, I've been in radio for 40 years. The way I look at country, it's got all these subgenres anymore. You've got pop country, you've got traditional, you've got neo-traditional, you've got red dirt, you've got country rap, all that stuff. Where would you put your music in a subgenre of country music?
That's a really tough question. I would say that just modern country is where
Okay.
I'd put it because it's not red dirt. It's not all pop country. Every song has got a different. It's all country. It is all
Right.
country. Um, some of it is a little bit of rock country,
Hmm.
a little bit of southern rock country. So just whatever subcategory of modern country is how I would define myself as like a jack of all trades because I don't write music with the intent of fitting in anything. I've written some songs that I haven't released yet that are just not country at all, that are
Right.
super contemporary, or and the only thing country about it is my accent. I've written songs like that. I have written songs like that.
And I mean, I know you're not just focused on one genre because you've done Christian, you've
Yeah.
done country, and I mean, your faith is something really big for you,
Oh
and
yeah.
I'm so glad, But I was reading here earlier some of the different things that were kind of uh, well, where did I see that at? Positive country, um,
Hmm.
and blues, electric blues, old rock and roll. You kind of cover everything.
Yeah. It's not intentional. It's intentional with the faith. That's for sure. Because faith is I'm
Right.
big in faith. But if it's bluesy, I just love blues. I love rock. I love country. I don't really have a not so favorite. I like all music.
Right.
So yeah, when I put a song out, when I write a song, it goes in the studio the way it is. Whatever.
Right.
I don't go to anybody and they go, "Hey, this is too much pop country for you." I go, "Yeah, I don't have anybody that does that for me.
Right.
Nobody holds me back. I got a really good team of people, and everybody's supporting me." So
What percentage of music would you say that you write yourself?
I have done a couple co-writes.
Mhm.
I have done like three actually, and I have I think around almost 30 songs. And I
Okay.
wrote all the other ones I wrote myself completely 100%.
Wow. Now, I've got one here that I'm gonna matter of fact, we're gonna talk about it for a second, then we'll take a break, then we'll come back and talk some more. But this is a song that you just released, and it's called My Type.
Yeah. Mhm.
And let's play that, and then we'll come back and we'll kind of give everybody a little idea of where it came from and what your process in writing it was and stuff.
Mhm.
So here's Hunter Lott, and this is called My Type. It's on Before Nashville.
Hey girl, what's your name? I really like your style. Looking so fine, so sweet, so kind, like strawberry wine. So come on over here, let me talk to you. I wanna get to know that smile. We can sit, we can talk, we can dance, we can walk for a while. Y'all, I got my hands up, singing along to my favorite country songs. Flipping left, right in the neon light, girl, I'm really feeling your heart. You know you got me wrapped around your little finger so tight. You got this, got that, bartender man, hold me back. Yeah, you're just my type. Hey girl, how about we go on over and get a drink? We got beer, got rum, got tequila, if that's your thing. Whatever you say, the way you move, when I got your hand in mine. You and me, just us in time, baby, feels so right. Y'all, I got my hands up, singing along to my favorite country songs. Skipping left, right in the neon light, girl, I'm really feeling your high. You know you got me wrapped around your little finger so tight. You got this, got that, bartender man, hold me back. Yeah, you're just my type. Blue jeans, crop top boots. Yeah, you got your cowgirl half blonde curls. You know that we should hop in the truck, get tangled up, maybe go drive around. We go slow, go fast, we can do whatever, baby, I'm down. Y'all, I got my hands up, singing along to my favorite country songs. If you live right in the neon light, girl, I'm really feeling your heart. You know you got me wrapped around your little finger so tight. Got this, got that, bartender man, hold me back. Yeah, you're just my type. Yeah, you're just my type.
All right, that's Hunter Lott and My Type. Now, that song to me, I'm going to tell you right now, you were talking about, you're being kind of a hands-on in all different genres. That's got a lot of different stuff in it from my point of view. And I say that because somebody else might not hear it. You got the traditional with the fiddle and the steel. You got a little bit of blues going on with the guitar. The drum parts in a couple of places have that big, like 80s hair band rock sound to the drums, that little bit of a boom and stuff to them.
It's super padded.
Do you have a hand in your own production, or do you leave that up to your producer exclusively?
My producer, I leave it to him. He's good. He's good at what he does. I go into there and, he's got his people that he really likes. And these guys now, we've been using the same people for years, since I started working with him years ago. So now they kind of, when so much time goes by and so many songs they do for you, they really get to remembering your groove, and they get to know kind of what you already like, and they do a really, really good job.
Right.
And they let me pick. So, they tell me what I want, or what they send me stuff first, and I tell them what I want and how I want this and how this sounds like that. And it's completely up to me in the end, whether something is in or out of the song. But as far as doing the production myself, I'm just like, hey, what is that loud thump noise? And he knows what it is, and he turns it down. It's like, that kick drum is a little too tight. I need a little bit wobblier, man. He's like, and then he knows how to click the button.
Right. Yeah. Well, it takes a producer to do that, because I sure can't do it. I'm like you. I can tell you if it sounds, loosen the head or something. I don't know. Do whatever you got to do to make it sound a little bit more realistic and not so electric. That's one of the things. But the song itself, is really, I love it. You write by coming up with the melody first, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So you just sit around and all of a sudden this melody pops in your head and you start playing. Do you chart that out, or do you write it? Do you use like Nashville charting, or you just have it in your head recorded? What do you do?
So it starts with, just like you said, I just fiddle around on my instruments, and I come up with something that sounds good. And that actually, that is what happens for me. I come up with the riffs first, and I have song ideas and what I want them to kind of be about, or the vibe of the song, and I write as I go. And then I come back and change.
Right.
Not like normal people. A lot of people write all their lyrics first, and then they go in and put stuff, which I can do. I've done that for some other people. I've had people send me songs with just lyrics, and I've put music to it, and I've told them I need to change this or this to make it fit. This works better, stuff like that. And so I can do either or, but then I record it, of course, and I write it down as a new guitar riff, as an untitled guitar riff or melody. But My Type came about with the melody in my head first, before I wrote anything. For the bridge melody popped into my head first. And one day I was literally just this is how talented we are. We sit here and we go doom 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 doom. That's it. That's how the song starts. That's it. Pure talent. So that's how that song started. I was going boom 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 like that over and over, and I was like, that sounds kind of good. And then that's when you start to really analyze it, and you notice that it's a little too open for it to be like an actual opening of the song, and it go, oh, but it'll fit perfectly for a breakdown. So
Right.
you write that down, and then you start working.
So as you said that, this question popped in my head, and
Yeah.
and I think if you talk to your promoter Lisa, she will tell you that this is kind of me. Um, have you ever had something to come to you like that in a odd place, like you're in the bathroom and all of a sudden the melody comes?
Yeah. Oh no, I'm lost. I lost him. Oh, there we
Oh,
go. I hear you.
yeah,
I hear you. Okay, so has the melody came to me in a weird place before? That's what you
yes,
said.
right.
I mean, I'm sure the first song I wrote, I was in the back seat on the way home, and the melody popped in my head.
Hmm.
My type came to me when I was winning a Grammy in my shower. So that is that came in me there. But I don't think that's a weird place. I don't I'm really trying to think. No, I don't think so yet. I'm sure it will. I've gotten plenty of ideas or like song titles that are probably in just places, like seeing a deer and licking the seaman outside. I saw that one day and I wrote it down. And but I haven't done anything with it. So I'm sure it will, but I get in this headspace.
Right.
I'm really good at separating work from everything else. And when I'm at work, I'm at work. So I get in a place, I get right here, right where I'm sitting in my studio, and I go through everything I have and find something that I can really connect to with me that day. And I get in
Mhm.
that headspace of, for right now, I'm going to see if I can put something down. As soon as I get something down and written, I record it with a voice memo. And if I can't write anything, I put it down and come back. I don't sit there and try to get frustrated and get stressed and hammer myself away at it, because you just start writing stuff that you don't really think through sometimes. You're like, finally, it's over. I'm not like, if it's not writing, I leave and come back.
And that kind of doesn't accomplish what you as an artist want to do anyway when you force it. You can't, I mean, I don't know of any top 10 song that I would think has ever been forced. I mean, everybody sits around, they're talking, next thing you know, something comes up. And, I've said this before. I can give you titles to songs all day long, just sitting around. I'll be driving in the way to work and something will just pop in my head and I'll
Hmm.
jot that down. It's never going to go anywhere because I'm not a songwriter. I can't do a melody for nothing.
Yeah.
Uh, I
Oh,
can't
sure
even
you
do
can.
the boom, 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 boom. Yeah.
Yeah. You
I
just
can't
gotta
do
put, for something
that.
like that, you gotta have TikTok in your mind.
Right.
Yeah, that's what you gotta.
I don't TikTok that much, so I probably need to do it more. Maybe it'll come to me.
But I'm a huge believer in letting songs write themselves, and
Right.
that is what I do. The song that I wrote about my grandfather, I told people it wrote itself completely, because 3 years after he passed away, and I was writing continuously,
Right.
I had a really really pretty guitar riff that I had saved up, and I had always messed around with it, and it was nice and soft and really emotional, just with the acoustic riff. It was really emotional.
Right.
And one day I decided I was going to start writing something about my grandfather just to see what I could get. And in 15 minutes, the song was finished. Verse, chorus, bridge, chorus, done. All the way through, didn't change anything about it either. And it wrote itself.
Wow. And sometimes to me, those are some of the absolute best songs you can ever listen to, are the ones that you don't have to spend half a day on a song.
No.
and a lot of times if you do that, you're trying too hard.
Yeah, I know. I mean, people have gotten really good at writing a song in a crunch. I mean, I did it for a movie. I wrote it, and director for the movie, he came to me and needed a song, and I gave it to him in 2 weeks. And to me, 2 weeks is pretty good.
Yeah.
If you really want me to, I can write a song in a day. I can.
Right.
But I do know some people who can write songs in 2 hours, and I really don't know how they do it. That's just not me, man.
Yeah, I feel like, I mean, if it takes, I mean, you can't take a lot of time because I feel like it loses a little bit of the feel of the song, especially, like you're talking about your grandfather and writing a song like that. If you take too long, you're going to lose some of the emotion in that because then you're thinking too hard. And on an emotional song, you can't think. I mean, you have to feel that song. You can't think that. You got to feel it. And I'm sure your grandfather is really proud and really proud of where you're at now. You've done more than just music, from what I've read here. You filmed a Western.
Yeah.
In the summer of 2021.
Yeah.
Tell us about that a little bit.
That was what I was saying before. So a movie director contacted me, and he needed a Western song for his Western film. And I had time. So I wrote him a song. He wanted a sort of Bon Jovi-esque vibe. We talked on the phone for a good hour and he told me about the plot, but I didn't have a script or anything. He just told me about what was kind of going on. And so I wrote a song called Drag You Down. That's what it's called. And about 2 weeks later, after that phone call, I gave it to him. And on that same message, he I don't remember if I called him to tell him that I sent him the song or not, but I sent him the song. And then he called me and said, hey, he's, for whatever reason, my lead actor has dropped out of the role for my movie. He said, so, how would you like to take the spot? And I said, you really are, the exact conversation, and you really offering me a acting role right now, a lead Western role? And he said, yeah. I said, do I get to shoot people? And he said, yeah. And I said, send me the script. I said, I'll make time for this. I still have the little, if you want me to grab it, it's real, but I still have the little 22 that we use, little prop guns.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. That's pretty awesome.
Am I allowed to show that live? It is a firearm.
Well, we're on Facebook. I don't know. You can show the handle of it. They may not know what that is.
It's a little, I forgot what it's called, but it's just a little 22 six shooter.
It's like a little prop.
And we had a lot. That was fun. I loved that movie because we all got along really well, and it wasn't work. It wasn't work at all. It was just, we had a great time the whole time. All of us were there, and we used to, every day we'd go in there, me and a couple of the guys who would have loaded guns. We would make sure we do a safety check, of course.
Right.
And on all, to make sure everything was completely unloaded. And we'd be sitting there over there on the side, just sitting down with our revolvers, and we just practicing our spins. We did all of that stuff. We had a great time. It was great. It was super awesome. Great.
Now, was it like an independent type of movie? Okay.
It was. And it was a Christian, it was a faith-based movie.
Okay. What is it out? I mean, can you watch it on any?
Yeah, it's on Tubi. It's called Vernon.
Vernon on Tubi. Okay.
Yeah, my friends love it. They love that movie. Because my friend, you know how friends are. They're sitting there watching the movie and they're just laughing as hard as they can the whole time. Those are my friends.
I mean, you say it was faith-based, but was it a serious? Was it a kind of a comedic feel, or?
No, it wasn't comedic. It was it's a little bit based. It's a little bit sad because it's It's basically a kid he is set to be 22 years old in the movie, and I was a 22-year-old at the time filming it too. And he was I was 21. I can't remember, 21 or 22. And he was just dumb. He's tired of being poor, and he robbed a bank, and it got to his head. It got to his head. So it got to his head, and he got with an innocent little girl who started following him around, and they started, she was like an angel, and he was not. He was just dumb. He wasn't a bad guy. He's just dumb. And it got to his head, and the banker shot one day. One of the bankers, after he robbed so many, the banker shot, and he shot back in self-defense and murdered the dude. He hit him.
Oh.
So now, he's not just wanted for robbery. He's wanted for murder. And the whole Wild West searching for him.
Wow. I've got to look that one up. I'm definitely going to have to look that one up.
And
that sounds like it'd be good.
Yeah, we had fun.
I'm all about a good Western, so especially if it's got a good story.
You can't go wrong. They did let me do a little revolver flip too at the end of one of the bank scenes when I was going outside. I was putting it back in my holster just as I was walking out. We practiced those for hours. When it wasn't our time to shoot, we did forwards, backwards, forwards, sideways. I wanted to look like Johnny Ringo from Tombstone.
Right. I was going to ask you, is that like a one take thing where you just, there you go, I'm done?
Yeah, it was just I had it up here and I like flipped it backwards twice and put it in.
Wow. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Now you're not just a songwriter, a guitar player, but you have a couple of other, I guess you could call it, parts to those names where you're an award-winning artist as well, because you won Album of the Year for the Texas Tour album that was inspired by your Texas Acoustic Tour.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that, the whole album itself.
The whole album it is called the Texas Tour album because that was when I went on my first tour and I was coming out with an album at the same time. So we totally went rock and roll. We got to stay in an RV, and go all over the place, all over Texas. I mean, we hit every part of Texas, and it's all the major general areas, and for 3 months straight. And there was a show about every other day, and it was all acoustic. I was trying to get my name out there, and work, and I was producing songs at the same time, and that's how the name of the album come. And I'm still with, and I was in the organization of ISSA, and those are all, I love all of those people. Those are all of my friends, and I had been friends with people on social media for like 5 years, like 4 or 5 years, and going to the award show, even if I didn't win anything, it was just great being there because I got to meet so many people that I've been waiting to meet for so long. And that was the best part. But that was for the ISSA awards. That is what my album won, Male Album of the Year.
Wow.
And it was a big honor. I got to go up on the stage and receive the award and give a speech after, and being there with all the people that are all of my friends, a lot of other artists that really support each other,
right?
And things like that is just a really amazing thing.
Now that's the International Singer Songwriter Association.
Yeah, that is it.
Okay,
that is it.
I want to make sure I had that right. And they always, they're a great group. I mean, I've got a lot of people that I know and a lot of friends that have been involved in ISSA and won awards, and I think it's just cool. I mean, if kind of shifting gears here, if you had to pick your favorite venue that you played in, anywhere, be it on Broadway or in Texas or anywhere else, what do you think it would be?
Oh man, I don't know. That's a tough question. I played at a lot of really good venues. You stumped me. Uh,
Yay!
I think probably my most recent one that I loved the most was at the Lebanon Capitol Theater. It was really recent too because it was packed out and we played at an event that was for all positive country, and I wasn't the only one there. It was some other people as well, but including a lot of country legends. My good buddy, he's a good buddy of mine now. T. Graham Brown played there, and me and him are like best buds now,
Yeah.
and we get along really well. And but Colin Ray was there, Larry Gatlin was there, John Barry was there. Um, there was a bunch of really big old household names that were just legends, and it's kind of surreal. And it was really, really, really great. The place, everyone was there to hear the positive country. So
Mhm.
I got to get up there and do my songs, and the crowd was just fantastic because everybody was there to hear what you had to play, and everybody was there to hear the positive message, and it's really nice.
Yeah.
And I loved hanging out with T and all those people behind the set.
Yeah, T's a good guy. I've met him a couple of times. I really like him. I've never really got to hang out a long time with him, but I've met him at shows and stuff, and got
Hmm.
to hang out with him and that way. So that's always nice. Had dinner with him once at in Nashville.
Yeah.
Uh, every year for CRS, they do what they call used to do the Legends. It's called the Legends Lunch, and I
Mm.
think they still do that. I'd have to check and see if they still. But T. Graham was there, and my one bucket list artist that I never thought I would ever get to meet, Roy Clark.
Oh.
And I got a picture with him, and I got a signed Hee Haw DVD from him, and
Well, there you go.
yeah, so I'm good with that. I mean, there's uh, about the only other. I mean, I don't consider them to be older ones. They're probably about my age, but Garth, he's one
Mm.
I've not got that opportunity yet, but I will have one of these days. But I'd
One of
like to
these
meet.
days.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I mean, I've hung out with some great, Shenandoah, Confederate Railroad, Sawyer Brown. Um, gosh, I couldn't even name them all. Joe Diffie. I got to introduce Joe Diffie before he passed away. Um, as a matter of fact,
Dang, that's an honor.
the second show I introduced him on two different shows, and I think the second one was the last show that he did before he passed away, outside of Nashville, because it wasn't long after that he passed. But I mean, man, you are just like seem to be really coming along with your career. I mean, your band is. I mean, do you play with the same band every time?
I
You have
do.
your
I do now. I do
okay,
now. There are plenty of there have been a couple occasions where we have to sub a guy out, but it's really rare. So,
right?
my drummer, me and my drummer have been together for a long time now. And once I was able to have my own guys, he's been the drummer from the start.
Okay,
And but yeah, now and I met a lot of those guys, through Broadway. Broadway taught me things. It did.
yeah,
Broadway, I didn't. I learned relatively quickly that I didn't want to go down that path.
right.
Um, but I met a lot of good, really good musicians. Met a lot of really good musicians, and a lot of people I really jived with as well. People that can get along and don't cause any trouble. I met some people like that, and we stuck around.
That's awesome. Are all your band members, are they around your age? Are they older or
Most of them are older. I'm usually always the youngest. TJ's My drummer is TJ, and he's I think he's a good bit older than me. I want to say he doesn't look older than me. So but and then I've had some people. I've had some. I played with I think like a 65-year-old before as well.
wow.
The drummer one day. But all of my guys are just a little bit older than me. They're not nothing too crazy, but especially because you wouldn't be able to tell. My drummer TJ is a total rock and roll head, and he's got the energy of a 20-year-old. So
Right.
he pops Red Bulls left and right on the stage. He's
I
good.
think for some reason it seems like all the great drummers are addicted to Red
He's
Bull. It's like
he's.
they just, you know,
I'm not gonna change him. He's good at what he does. He's really good. And he's got my back.
they
So
tend to have that animal, the Muppet animal that was the drummer. They tend to have that
yeah,
jitter. It's just like, oh, I gotta go, I gotta go.
yeah. He's been drumming since he was like a little kid. He's super good. I mean, he's still. I played with a bunch of drummers when I was on Broadway.
Yep.
But I have yet to come across a drummer that played with me that's as good as TJ. And
Mhm.
TJ knew me a couple of years just off social media before I had gotten to Broadway as well. And so the first show I had on Broadway, or the second show, he came to introduce himself, and all that. And then
Mhm.
when it was time for me to get my band, I was like, "Hey TJ, what do you think?" He's like, "I finally want to put my guys." He's like, "That sounds good." And
That's
so
awesome.
we've been rocking now for a while.
That's awesome. I love it when you get a good tight band that you guys get along. That's always
Oh
great.
yeah, we get along. We have no issues, none.
What a couple of the questions that I like to ask that I usually get to earlier in the show, but we've just had such a good time just hanging out and chatting.
Yeah.
Uh, if there were one song that you say to yourself, "Man, why did I not write that song?" What would that song be?
Oh, I can tell. Okay, so my favorite song to play on the guitar is a Stevie Ray Vaughan song.
Mhm.
Um, that it wouldn't be popular if it was mine, so I'll let Stevie have that one.
Right.
S- uh, oh man, there has been a few. I think. Okay, so speaking truthfully, deep down in the heart, um, "Online" by Brad Paisley back in the
Mhm.
day. That song is goofy and funny,
Right.
and I would have I don't know how you get that creative with it writing, but he did.
Yeah.
So that one is good. I think when Riley Green first it was around the same time I was struggling in writing when Riley Green first came out with "I Wish Grandpa's Never Died" years ago.
Mhm.
That song just hit me. And,
Yeah.
I was super jealous that I didn't write that, you know? Um, that's probably the best answer that I could give is either one of those 2. Craig Morgan's old song, "Almost Home" is one of my
Yep.
absolute all-time favorites, that I wish I could have, if I had to in a fantasy world, if I could write it myself instead of other people, it'd be one of those 3.
Right. Right. All great songs. I mean, like I said, online's got that goofiness, and then you get the emotion of "I Wish Grandpa's Never Died," and Craig with "Almost Home." It's kind of along the same lines as, that emotion, that,
Yeah.
you know, um, but yeah, when Riley first came out with "I Wish Grandpa's Never Died," it just hit me really hard because my grandfather it hit me really hard, you
Yeah.
know, which it happens. I mean, but that's the thing about music. It's always so emotional for
Mm.
everybody. Everybody's got their own take on a song.
Yeah. Yeah, it had similar effect with me because, it took us a long time to get over that death in my family, a really long time, and it just and even still today, there's things
Mhm.
that we have, framed text messages and things like that,
Wow.
stuff so that we have in our house, and it's all happy stuff, We know he's in a better place, so we don't get upset. And even back then, I was lonely, after that, because we all were, and I was trying to help my mom get through it because it was different. That's the only way I
Right.
can describe it. It was different, and something we hadn't experienced at all to that magnitude. So Riley came out with that song, and it was just so good. It just hit me right where it's supposed to.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. Um, Everybody's doing collaborations now. I mean, it
Yeah.
doesn't matter who it is. You got uh, Kane Brown just did one with can't believe I forgot her name. I could see her right in my head, and I can't think of her name right now. Um, and they just came out with one, but he and Lauren Elena have done them, and you got, Florida Georgia Line and Nelly. I mean, the collaborations know no boundaries. Um, so if you could collab with anybody, who would it be?
Anybody?
Yeah.
It would be Brad. It'd be Brad Paisley for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Brad Paisley was my first country concert. I was really, really small. So we went to see Brad Paisley. It was my first concert, actually, and it was my
Hmm.
first country concert because I've seen Metallica live too. I've
Right.
seen Def Leppard and Journey live.
Okay.
So when I was a kid, Taylor Swift was still on stage, sitting down on a little stool, playing her acoustic guitar, opening up for Brad. And then,
Right.
back in her very first like EP days.
Right.
And then, so we saw her, and then Rodney Atkins came after Taylor, and then Brad played his whole concert. So I would really want to do a song with Brad Paisley because he's like a guitar idol. I don't know, he's always, him and Keith Urban are two country guys that have always done dibble with a guitar, but me being a guitar guru and learning all the time about new ways to play some things, Brad Paisley's a monster on
Oh
guitar.
yeah.
He's a monster. And so I would want to do a song. I've thought about this before. I've wanted to do a song with Brad where me and him take turns in a guitar solo, like a back and
Oh,
forth thing,
yeah.
you know? That would be so much fun. That'd be crazy.
That would. What's kind of like a dueling banjo type of thing,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know?
He does a bar. I do a bar,
Yeah.
just for a quick little solo, and then we sing together. That would be an absolute dream come true for sure.
That would be really good. I mean, Brad, of course, Brad keeps good company. He and Vince Gill are good friends, and Vince is another one of those guitar guys, and of course him and Keith have toured together, and and I got to see Brad a few years ago, and actually, thanks to my career of radio, I got to be on stage during practically his entire set, and to watch him and what he did, I mean, that close was just phenomenal. I
Yeah.
mean, it was better than any front row seat you could ever ask for.
Hmm.
He nailed it. And I mean, I've never had a concert that I think has been better than that one, to get to see him do the stuff he does.
He's crazy. He's
You know,
crazy good.
yeah, he is. Um, here's where we kind of go into the job interview type of question.
Okay.
But where do you where do you see yourself in 5 years?
I always see myself always pursuing my music in
Hmm.
whatever way it's going to be. In 5 years, um, hopefully, I will be on a nice big tour with some other really big, amazing artists.
Hmm.
And I see it. The thing is in 5 years from now, I see it achievable. I see it in reach. As long as I keep my head up high and I keep my nose out of trouble, and I stay on the grind and just do what I love. That's really all there is to it. Just keep doing what I love. I think I could do it in 5 years. I could see myself there.
All right. Well, that sounds pretty good. And I was just looking over what are some of the upcoming dates that you got going. I was trying to find that on here, and I think I went to the wrong spot. I wanted to see what you had kind of in the way of your tour and where people can find you to watch you.
Well, I'm going to be singing with, so the things that I've got coming up there or coming out. I've got, I'm going to be playing at a gig here soon. I'm going to be sharing the same stage again with T. Graham Brown, like I did in Lebanon.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to be at the Troubadour here in Nashville.
Okay.
And we're going to be doing that show. And it's also another positive faith country gig. And I'm super excited about that. That's very fun. And that comes out in August. And by the way, anything that I've got to is on my website. HunterLottMusic.com has all of my dates for everything. And that's like the next big thing that's coming up for sure. But I have a song. So me and T, like I said, me and T are buddies.
Right.
And I can't really say a lot of things, about it.
Right.
But me and T have done a duet together in the studio.
Oh, wow.
And it's finalized. And I think we'll be performing it decently soon, about somewhere. We don't know when. It'll be coming out in the next little while. But
Right.
It's called Life of a Sinner.
Okay.
And so me and T did that together in the studio.
Now, did you strictly sing on that one? Or are you doing some guitar on that one as well? Or
I strictly sung on that one.
okay.
I wrote it. I did write it. He just chose to come along with me. The story, that was one thing that happened. One of the conversations we had, I don't know how it started. Things just happened. But me and him were just backstage when we were doing the Positive Country gig. And hanging out and talking. And, eventually he was like, hey, I heard something about us doing a song together. I said, I heard something too. I don't really, know. It had something to do with his management and my management and just talking and being friends. And they just brought up the idea. And I was like, I mean, yeah, I would do it. I'd love to do a song together. That'd be amazing. That would be super, super cool. And he said, okay, let's do it. I said, okay. So I'll send you the stuff. So I sent him all the stuff. And, you could tell him going into the studio and singing, he's just got the experience. He just, he's T. He's good. He's good. He's super cool, Right. So he walk up in the studio and just give him the sheet, give him the lyrics, to do the work. He practiced in a vehicle or something like that before he got there. And and he just nailed it. He's got those years in his voice. You can hear it when he sings, and it's just really, really, really good stuff. And I'm really excited to release that song, and it's coming next.
That's awesome. I'll keep my eye out on that one. One more thing before we go, because I see there on your arm a lot of ink. I'm just curious about that sometimes, and kind of what it is and what it means to different people.
I have a bunch. I'll make it fast. So I got a guitar and a microphone right here, headstock and mic. In between to fill in is a bunch of music notes on both sides. I have a matching tattoo right here. It says my sister's protector. She has a matching tattoo that says my brother's keeper.
Okay.
This is where this is probably my most important tattoo or my favorite. This says we've got the same blood in our veins with my grandfather's signature under it. So there's a story behind that. So he thought it would be, growing up, my grandfather thought it was ridiculous that me and my sister or my cousins didn't eat or drink after each other because of cooties or something,
Right.
And so he would grab us right there. He'd say, you see this? He'd grab us both like that. He'd grab her arm, grab my arm. And he'd say, we got the same blood. It's right here. We got the same blood in our veins. So when he passed away, we had his signature from a truck that my dad had bought from him. So I put that on my wrist and put his signature underneath it.
Wow.
Right on the spot where he'd grab it every time.
That's super cool.
I like this. I have a cool birthday off the tongue, 9/29/99, just rings. And
Right.
so I put my time started at 9/29/99. It's a clock. And
Okay.
back here, my dad is a survivor of prostate cancer. So I have the prostate ribbon wrapped around a cross with some nice words in it. I have Philippians 4:13 wrapped around my bicep, and I have the Holy Spirit in the form of a dove right here
Okay.
with the
Awesome.
clouds and the sun. It's hard to see, and that is everything so far.
All right. All right. So you're big into the tattoos and the meanings and that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's why I've had this open space for a really long time now, because I'm just like, I'm not gonna just throw something in there. I could,
Right.
but nah, I gotta wait till something else is really nice.
Gotta wait till it hits you.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe a maybe a big TikTok logo right there.
Yeah.
That'll work. We can do that.
Sad thing about it, it could be a time where TikTok is no more, and then you still have that there.
Yeah, when I get older, I'll be like, what
Yeah, it
what did
would
I
be a
do?
memory then.
Oh man. Not a bad
Yeah,
idea. Might as well.
yeah, exactly. Exactly. And I mean, social media has gotten so prevalent. That's another thing, with the way people are found and stuff. I mean, I like to watch TikTok and I like to find new artists, and generally I go from there. If I find somebody that kind of catches my ear, I'll switch over to Instagram because it's easier to message somebody through Instagram.
Sure.
And I'll shoot them a message and invite them on and get their info and send them stuff, so they can kind of verify if I'm who I say I am or anything like that. you know.
Mm, yeah.
But no, it's really good, man. I've really enjoyed talking to you, just hanging out and getting to know each other.
Yeah. Me too.
You're
That's
a super cool guy, and
all.
I love your take on the music and everything about all the different genres and stuff like that, and how you incorporate those. Like I said, with my type, how you brought out some of the older traditional stuff, and then you
Mhm.
put that in there, and that's good to me for a young guy or gal to come along and do that, because it's not that I'm against pop country music. I'm not, but I wasn't raised on it, so
Sure.
it doesn't
Yeah.
hit me the same.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean. I take a song, and if it sounds good, I go, that sounds good. Let's put it in there. And they're like, but dude, it's an organ. Or they're like, dude, it's a harpsichord. It's like an ancient pirate like instrument. What I'm like, so
Yeah,
no, sounds
exactly.
good. It sounds cool, and it matches the song. Don't lie.
Yeah, and as long as it does that, you're good to go.
Uh-huh. I
You know,
agree.
that's the whole thing. You gotta have all the right elements for a great song, and sometimes it may be something a little different. I've yet to hear anybody use a pump organ inside of a country song, but there may be a place where they can. You never know.
Yeah,
You know,
or a bagpipe.
a bagpipe, exactly.
That's what we, that's what we need.
I
That's what
I
we need.
actually saw a TikTok the other day of a young lady that I think was a country artist that was playing bagpipes.
Dang, she
Um,
beat me to it.
yeah, and I can't remember who it was. I'll have to see if I can find that one, because I was like, man, that's pretty crazy. I don't know if she did it like, I think she plays like fiddle more than anything, or violin, depending on you know what side of rodeo or rodeo drive you come from.
Yeah, that's
If
the
you're from the
whole.
rodeo side, it's a violin. If you're from the rodeo side, it's a fiddle.
Yeah, it's a posture thing.
Right,
It's a
right.
posture thing. If you play the violin, it's
Yeah,
nice, and if you're a
yeah.
fiddle player, you got your dipping, and you're throwing
A
down.
little bit lower and you're sawing away.
Yeah, throwing down, talking to your grandpa. Grandpa, That's all.
Hey, come check this out. I got a
Yeah.
good riff.
I can play that Charlie Daniels song you showed me.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
My buddy David Bradley here, he says that there are several. One girl plays bagpipes to metal music. I don't think I've seen her yet. Apparently, David spends more time on TikTok than I do.
Dave busted.
Oh, yeah, he's another podcaster, so we might have to get you guys.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's a good dude. He's
I'm
down
down.
there. I think he's in Columbia. Don't get on here and
Columbia,
chat.
Tennessee.
Columbia, Tennessee. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's where he's at, and he's got a video podcast, and really, he's got a cool setup. It's really nice to watch because he's got the, Portland, Tennessee. I would have never guessed that.
That's not that far from me.
Yeah.
Portland is right up the road.
So I'll have to send him Smoot's information and let him get a hold of her and see if they can hook something.
Because I love doing stuff like this. I've actually really, I don't know, where are my manners? I didn't thank you for letting me on the show and talking to you and all.
Hey, it's fun to do, and sometimes we get lost in talks and those things. As bad as I hate to say it, sometimes I don't think the guests for even coming on, and I hate that. I'll get out of a show and I go, "Dadgum, that was just rude." you know, I try to be a little bit more polite and southern than that. I very rarely use "bless your heart," but
don't tell that to a man.
That's right.
Don't tell that to a man. No, I'm from Mississippi. You don't say something like that. That's bad.
Right. And them fighting words.
Yeah, they is. Or you call them something like buddy. Okay, buddy. Yeah. Fighting word. No, I like doing stuff. I love this, because I just get on and I don't have any sort of like script. I just be myself, and
yeah,
it's hard to mess things up when you just get on and just talk.
Yeah, and the mess ups are so good sometimes. They just sound good.
They sound good, and my camera doesn't work half the time. It's great.
My Wi-Fi doesn't work, which I don't even use.
Yeah.
Like I still don't understand that, but it is what it is. But Hunter, man, thanks for coming on. We'll get you man. I'll get you set up with David. You guys can chat, but looking forward to that new song with you and T, and seeing how that sounds, and even new stuff altogether.
Yeah, it is. I'm excited, and I really, really, really loved being here. I really liked this conversation we had. Super, super great.
It's been a great one, man. And anytime you're, the camera portal is always open.
Yeah, when it wants to be.
When it wants to be.
When it wants to be.
That's right.
It's fighting me.
But guys, check him out. Hunter Lott. You can find his song My Type. It'll be up on our Spotify playlist right after the show, so you can go there and listen to it, or you can check it out on Hunter's Spotify or any of the streaming platforms. He's got them all, so get over there and check that out, and also the other stuff he's got. Don't forget about checking out Vernon on Tubi.
Oh yeah.
We want you to watch Vernon for sure.
Yeah, and listen to the credits song. That's the one. That's how it started. He needed a song.
That's going to be my weekend watching right there. Vernon on Tubi, right after the next 10 episodes of Suits that I can knock out on Netflix.
Oh man.
Certain ones I'm addicted to, man. I don't know why. They just drill. They kind of hook you in, and then it's like dadgum. So
Suits is the lawyer one, right?
Yeah.
The Harvard student that's not a Harvard student.
Harvard student, exactly.
That's what it was.
I like that one. My wife and I both got hooked on it, and so we binge watch it every weekend, trying to get through 8 seasons. I think we're halfway through season 3 right now.
8 seasons?
Yeah, I couldn't believe that. I'm like, good grief. I never even saw it on TV. I don't know if it ever came out on a real network other than Netflix, but Hey, it's pretty good. It gives you some. I've got some ideas off of it. So
Yeah, be smarter.
yeah, not to do anything without a lawyer.
Yeah, you watch 8 seasons of that show, and you just tell your lawyer, I represent myself now. You're good.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
need you
I'm
no more."
good, man. Hey, appreciate it.
He's like, "What happened?" You're like, "I was watching the show. I know. I figured it out."
Yeah. I was watching Suits. I know how to
Yeah,
make it look like I graduated Harvard now.
yeah. I know your secrets, man.
Right. Exactly. So you guys go check out Hunter Lott. Amazing guy, really cool dude just to chat with, and some great music. And we've got another show coming up Thursday night. So you guys join us then. Until then, y'all have a good night, and we'll see you.
And that's a wrap. Thanks for joining us. Be sure to follow Before Nashville on all social media and listen wherever you get your podcast. Tune in again for another country star of tomorrow on Before Nashville with George Davis. I'm Kevin Casey on behalf of Worldwide Fans. Have a great night.